Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Only Leeds Bros for the final point. Joined by Matty from Imagine Not Being Leeds. Sorry, we're a couple of minutes late, guys. My laptop wanted to do an update as soon as I wanted to come on. So, apologies about that one. It is a couple of comments after coming in, so we'll smash through them before we check in on the boys. Follow this, lads, as well. Please, you know what you need to do, people. Yeah, you need to smash a like and subscribe on Only Leeds Bros and Imagine Not Being Leeds. Snowing again. Congratulations on hitting over 600 subs. Well deserved. Thanks very much, Danny. Appreciate it. It's been a whirlwind since Christmas. No snow, yeah, just rain, pure rain here today. Lots here, Amy, and started snowing again. I've just seen a couple of pictures of Ellen Road in the snow, and it looks
Beautiful.
wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Foster MOT says,
That's
it's
my
one of
boy,
yours,
that.
mate, is it?
Yeah, it's one of mine, mate. One of my many. It's my eldest boy, yeah.
It is
I-
me too, Danny boy. Hey sweet, hey baby zebra games. I love that name. I don't know why that just hits. Baby zebra games. And Elizabeth, hi Elizabeth, how are you? Hope you're keeping well. And hey Danny, lads, let's dive straight into it. Leeds United 3, Hull City 3. We had again the 3 points in the palm of our hands, and we fumbled it exactly like Elan Meslier for them 3 goals. Matty, we'll come to you first. The day after, have you made any sense of
Welcome to the Elan Meslier show.
it?
Yeah, not as angry as I was last night, but it's just unforgivable at the minute. Still, it's not something I'm ready to brush under the carpet. I've seen a lot of takes today with the whole, he's going to be here, I think, through January. I agree with that sentiment, to be fair. So you might as well get behind him. It's much easier to be kind and to be nice and be hateful and wasting energy being like that. But I think he'll get a little bit of that. I'm not that sort of guy, I know a lot of us in this space aren't, and I don't want him to be getting anything more than potential comments of him being dropped, which I think is fair. I think people pay the money; they're so invested mentally, physically, financially in this club. I think it's fair that you criticise, and I think if an outfield player's not playing well for a couple of games, let's be fair, outfield players rarely do howlers as bad as that. I know they do, but with a goalkeeper, it's a different sort of world, isn't it? And it's a harsh reality. But that's his role. He's been playing that role, I guess, since he was a kid. It's what he wants to do, and he's at Leeds United. And a lot of people are saying he's inexperienced. He is in terms of age, but he's got 5 years' experience at a top flight club like Leeds United. So I don't know how valid that comment is to me. It's just a shame, mate, because he's costing us points now. But I do also agree that he's going to be here, I think, till at least the end of the season. I'm hoping in a less full-time capacity, if you understand. I'm hoping he isn't playing every minute of every game. I do expect Darlow to play in the FA Cup, and that's his sort of shot window game. That in it, go out there, show what you can do, and hopefully can keep it. But yeah, I'm not too sure, lads. It's still very raw at the minute.
Yeah, I agree, Matty. It is, and usually kind of day after a game, and I think it's because the results, every single one of them went against our way. Like we've seen Sunderland winning today as well, so they're only 3 points behind us. So it's definitely now a 4-horse race. And just seeing Leeds United fumble the last 2 games, I think that's what hurts even more. And then you throw the Meslier situation on top of it as well. It doesn't get any easier. So we'll get you a couple of more comments before we get Dylan's thoughts on it. If Darlow made those mistakes, he'd be nowhere near the team. Exactly, Arthur. And you know what the thing? If any of them outfield players played as bad and were performing as bad as what Elan Meslier was, you'd know right well that they would be dropped. So it shouldn't be any different for the goalkeeper. Danny Talksworth says, I'm hearing tonight that Fairport could be gone this month, and they are offering Paddy Bamford.
You are on the wind up, Danny. You are.
Can he take any more, man? Sensible hour, guys. Tell me yesterday was a bad dream. I just woke up from my hangover. Andy, I'm sorry it wasn't a bad dream. It is very much real. We have an absolute horror show in Nets. And Seaside TV, evening fellas, evening buddy. And LUFC, seen people calling for Rory Mahadi to start against Wednesday. Yeah, I'd start the traffic count against Wednesday, lads, to be honest with you. Very spiky jar. Yeah, exactly. Paul Rahubke.
Can I just ask, Darren, is that LUFC 1203? I don't know why. I've just got a feeling that's Priestley. I feel like he ditches to it. I think so. If you're Priestley, let us know. I've just got a feeling, mate. Honestly, he comes in every stream. He'll say every so often he'll come in and say he didn't say so and so about my comment, and he never really tells me what it is. But I've got my eye on LUFC 1203. I've got a feeling it's my man Priestley, and he just dips his toe in and out of water as a bastard.
Well, Priestley, if that is you, hello, my good old Celtic pal. I think he plays Mez in the cup. Oh, I'm just now. Arthur says Meslier for me, corners come, get the ball. No, I always point. But look, I don't understand why he does that, lads. Like, I don't know if he's taught to do it or told by the coaching staff to do it. But like, I don't understand why he comes to punch it. He was nowhere near it again. Always a mistake in him. Never shoots. 2 defenders. Rodon played with Darlow. Yeah, it's Rodon or Darlow or Cairns for me in the cup. We got that one from Danny and Don. No manager be sticking with me exactly. The only one that has had the cojones to drop him has been Sam Allardyce. So let's see what Fark does. Not Danny plays you are on the wind up. I can't not tonight, Danny. Meslier is unwanted Christmas present that must go back. No exchanges. Yeah, let's hope we have the receipt from lads. It's not been a terrible week. Rangers v Celtic. 11 points clear, buddy. 11 points clear.
That confirms it.
Yeah, Roger's only done that because he wants to get the checkbook out. White is Fark putting Ampadu on centre back. Yeah, I don't know. Like last season when Strike got injured. Dillo, look, it will come to you again. Elan Meslier. It is the day after before. Do you feel any better? Have you made any more sense of it, or is it still very much its untenable position for Elan Meslier?
No, it's very raw. It's very tender. You know, emotional. I'm not well myself, so I'm still emotional over that. I'm feeling sorry for myself, but I feel sorry for myself a little bit more because of the Meslier situation. I think it's time for him to go, lads. I'm being honest with you. It hurts. This one hurts because, you know, players should be stepping up. You make a mistake, whatever about it, the fans and the team, and especially the manager will get behind you. But to do it again, you know, I think his days are numbered now at Leeds. Against Harrogate, I think you should start Darlow. Just give him a run, see how he gets on, and then, you know, if he pulls off a good performance, I'd start against Sheffield Wednesday. I think it's time now. Can't keep relying on a goalkeeper that's simply not good enough to the standards of what we need to be. You know, at the end of the day, when it comes to the defence, you know, Strike or Rodon or Ampadu in there, you know, they mop up well, and they don't really get, no teams really get much shot off. But he needs to be there for the major ones, and he just simply hasn't been doing that. You know, as I said yesterday on the match reaction as well, it wasn't just the goals that he caused, it was a few other errors as well. You know, so it's not like you just made one mistake and we move on. It was a collective certain amount that
he had one before that as well, Dylan. One that was whipped across the front post. A complete misarray. He just ends up falling to his knees past the front post, doesn't get anywhere near it, goes in between him, and I think it could have been Rodon, and ends up with the back post. And I think it was Jacob then that hits the post. They should really make it 2-0. So it just felt like the whole day he had mistakes in him, and yeah, he's cost us again big time, lads. And I think you're easily talking 6 to 10 points now that Meslier has cost us. I look back on the goals that we've conceded this season, and again, look, it's because of the situation yesterday. You look at his position solely, but yeah, when you look at Burnley and you look at Sheffield United, lads, the goalkeepers that they have in Trafford and Cooper to what we have in Elan Meslier, as what John Redmond says here, don't think Burnley and Sheffield United have anything to worry about. Myself, we always implode. I don't feel like we're imploding, John. I just think there's one man letting us down. I think we have the quality right across the park. It's just that one man and that's letting the whole team down. Matty, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. The side is good enough and capable enough to get into winning positions, which they've done. You know, we can count up far more points than the 4. You know what we allude to it with the Sunderland and the whole game. But if we look at them two just on their own, you know, literally the game is won. All he's got to do is come out and catch a ball, drop back onto his line against Sunderland, let it bounce, and if he's further away, catches it anyway. Just be smarter in those moments. And obviously the Hull one, I think, is at fault partially for first one, but that's harsh. But still, you know, a lot of people say Elan Meslier is a really good shot stopper. I think they get that wrong. He ain't a good shot stopper. He's got Papadopoulos for me. He's a great one-on-one keeper. When someone goes through one-on-one with him, he's great at making himself big and stopping these. But in terms of shot stopping, we've seen ones from distance go through him down middle at goal. But one-on-one, he's brilliant. So for me, that first goal when he gets played through, don't make it easy for him by coming out in a no man's landing. You know, it was a brilliant finish by Kamara, but he had an open net to go into. Whereas if he stays in his line, gets himself set, tries to get his positioning correct, there's every chance Volber might get closer to him. He might miss the shot. He might scuff it. You know, one-on-one, I back him. So that was a bit of a shame. But obviously, those other 2 goals are just just shocking. That second one's ridiculous. But like you say, mate, the lads, the quality we've got, everything's set up to get 3 points most weeks. And on those 2 occasions, you know, what stand out more than any other, it were one. The lads had done all they could. You know, you couldn't have asked anything else for those outfield players at Sunderland. You couldn't have asked anything else for them at Hull. And yeah, there's a lot of people touching that first half. It wasn't good enough. Yeah, it wasn't. But that would, you know, we bring up the past. We talk about it from time to time. But in a game where you go from being very average to being 3-1 up, the first half's irrelevant at that point because you've turned it round. You've gone from being below par to coming out and actually, you know, turning around. And sometimes you can look better through coming through adversity, and that would have poured half, and they bettered it, and they got in front. So rather than talking about how crap they were in first half, let's talk about how well they turned it round. But then it is one man that fucks it for us.
Because we would have been, Matty, if that game did end 3-1, we would have been turning around going, geez, what character from the lads. Really bad first half. They came out the second half and they right them wrongs in any game. And it's one man then that costs them 10 outfield players, and some of the lads that came on done their very, very best to get the 3 points for Leeds United. It was just one man that just wasn't on it. Like, I still don't know, lads. I've watched it back a couple of times today for that second goal. Like, whatever about the first, should he have came out, it's one of them. He's allowed one. But the second one, lads, I don't know why he's trying to claw back down. For what reason would claw back down? To catch it, to put in his own hand, to make himself feel a little bit better. I don't really know. It was going over the crossbar, and he just touched the underside of the crossbar, let it go out for your goal kick. Or if you're that concerned about it, tip it over and go for a corner, and we regroup then. It's just, it's inexcusable at this stage, lads. And I think for me, it's a really, really big call for what Daniel Farke does now. The ball is in his court, and we'll see whether he sticks or twists. But for me, it has to be a change, lads. We'll definitely see Cairns or Darlow against Harrogate. We'll see how they do. But the Sheffield United or Sheffield Wednesday one is obviously the big one. Who starts the net? If it's Meslier, well, we're going to have to back him for the season, lads, because he ain't going anywhere.
I think it's just a trait of his as well, Dill. I don't know what you think. I don't think it's something you can coach out of him, that, you know, you can improve his positioning. You can get better with age. People say, you know, I've seen someone today, you don't peak till you're like 25 to 30. And I understand all that. Obviously, he's what, 23, 24. It's well young for a goalkeeper, but he has played 200 plus games now. So experience, you know, in terms of game state, he's got loads of that. But for me, it doesn't matter if he's 32-year-old, he's always going to have that in his game. You know, you can't coach that. I call it a bit of a brain fart moment where he's just got that in his locker. And I sort of thought he'd got it out of the way with Sunderland away. How often do you see a keeper do an absolute blooper that would be one of the best bloopers you've ever seen in terms of goalkeeping errors? More than once a season. It happens now and again, doesn't it? You know, that to do 2, this were probably worse at Sunderland one, to be fair, like, which I never thought you'd be able to better. This were worse. But like I say, I don't think it matters if he's 24, he's 34, he's played 200 games, 500 games. I feel like he's always going to have this. He might improve his all-round game to be a better keeper in general and be challenging for titles at other clubs in his career. Who knows where he's going to end up? He's got talent, there's no doubt about that. But if you're still coming up with 2 or 3 moments in, you know, even if he goes to top at game, lads, and he's playing for one of the best sides in the world and they're challenging for a title, can you put your money on him that he ain't going to lose you 6 points to see? Even if he's world class outside that, he's still going to affect you and cost you so many points. And because at the minute he isn't at a level for his all-round game, he isn't winning us those points to allow him to drop us those points at the same time. That's his. I mean, if he was saving us 10 points a season,
he's no credit. He's no credit. He's no credit in the bank, Matty. I think that's what the issue is. A lot of these players, and exactly Dan James is an example of this, right? And it's a completely different situation. But Dan James has had 2 really poor performances back to back. But we're not in it. We're not on his back because he has credit in the bank. He's done so well over the last 18 months, and the reason why Illan Meslier is getting so much hate and so many fans do want him out is because he does it time and time and time again. He's let us down, exactly like the Patrick Bamford situation. Yeah, back in the day, that ninth in the Premier League finish, we're looking at all them players gone, absolutely brilliant. They all had credit in the bank. The season after that, then it was gone, and ever since then, Illan Meslier has done nothing but decline as a goalkeeper here at Leeds United. You hear all the stuff about Arsenal being in, United being in it. 100%, lads. I'd throw him in a taxi and bring him there myself because he's just not good enough, lads. He's really not good enough. Championship level, Premier League level. And I think it's time for part ways, lads. You know, I've been kind of vocal of Meslier at the start, and I did say whether we go up or we stay down. It's time for both of us to part ways. I kind of thought towards the end of the season that I'd love not more than 49ers to go out and do it now and get a goalkeeper in. I just can't see it being done. But yeah, he's going to cost us big times. And the worrying thing, lads, it's only January. We still have another 4 or 5 months of this season to go, potentially, again, playoff situation, which he can't cope under any sort of pressure whatsoever. You trying to tell me for the next 4 or 5 months that he ain't going to make another howler? Absolutely not, lads. He still has another 2 or 3 in him. So, yeah, I agree with you, Matty. It's just whether them outfield players can dig him out.
You know what as well, lads? You've got Cairns.
I think the lads are giving up. Sorry, mate. Go ahead.
No, go on, Delo. You're right. Go on.
I genuinely think that even the lads, like even Rodon, you can see, I think they're all fed up.
Yeah.
I'm being honest, just the body language, the way the boys are going on.
Yeah.
Meslier is just genuinely crumbled under serious pressure. And they crumbled for the wrong reasons. It's not like, as I said, he made one mistake and we move on. It's been collective throughout the season. Sunderland today, and then there was a few. There was one at Preston.
It feels like any time, lads, that our defence is like even a little bit below par, even a little bit not at 100%. And Meslier has any sort of pressure on him, he always crumbles. He never seems to stay. When you look across the top performances that we've had and top results that we've had across the season, our defence have been defensively solid. Meslier hasn't had anything to do, and any of the games that we look at, our defence have been in disarray, and he's been called upon, asked to dig us out, and he hasn't done that, lads. And you need that from a goalkeeper. Yeah, look at not every time they're going to do it for you, but at least some of the time. And I'm trying to think across the season. When has Meslier really kind of saved us? When has he grabbed any points? I know a lot of people bigged him up for the save against Middlesbrough, but so what I said earlier on, Dylan, to you is that that's a normal save that a normal decent goalkeeper makes. But because Meslier doesn't do that, we big him up and we think that he's the best goalkeeper. The same thing, Matty, when I talk back to what he done against Derby, me and you were like, wow, look at that. Meslier comes out and cleans everyone out and fists and catch everyone. Every other goalkeeper does that. He doesn't. So when he does it, he looks fantastic. He's just bang average, lads. Yeah, exactly. It is his job to come do that. For me, lads, it's got to the point it's untenable. Like, and it's hard because you're a Leeds fan, and anyone that throws on that Leeds shirt, you really do want to back him. And I've tried over today trying to think of any situation to try and back him. I can't, lads. I have no trust in nets anymore, and it just feels like a matter of time. I do have a feeling Farke is going to back him, but it just only feels like a matter of time before he does it again.
But why are people saying that Cairns and Darlow aren't good enough? Are they basing Darlow not being good enough after that Shrewsbury game where he let a couple of goals in like that? There weren't no howlers like Meslier. You know, I know we haven't seen Cairns and Darlow's whole career. I know they haven't played at sides as big as Leeds United. But like when there's a massive goalkeeper howler, I don't think it matters if it's Conference League 2. It does rounds on social media because it's funny. And I can't ever recall seeing a Darlow howler. I mean, at Leeds United, lads, it's not like Millier's, like I said, it's not like Millier's saving shots left, right, and centre and winning us points. So as long as Darlow or Cairns comes in, they'll still concede. They might have woeful kicks now and again. But if they come in and they just don't do a howler, then it's surely better, is it not? Because Meslier isn't winning us points anyway. He makes that defence nervous, and like I say, he's not pulling out worldies. But he's got. Now, half at season's good. He's got another 2 of these in locker. Let's be fair, on average, he's got another 2 of these at least. So if Darlow comes in and maybe he isn't as good, but we don't face that many shots. We don't face that much. You know, I know recently we have, but we tend to go through spells where we don't face that many. So as long as he can catch a ball or leave a ball that's already going out, or tip a ball over or catch a ball, the basics that Meslier seems to not be able to do, then we're not asking for much here, lads. Why can't these 2 players do it? They're professional
We're literally, we're asking for the standard. We're literally asking for the bare minimum. Because like what you said, Matty, we don't, and especially after Sunderland, we were rock solid at the back. We stopped conceding any sort of shots, any sort of goals. Like what we said, I think it was 3 shots in 7 games or something like that was on the goalkeeper. So like you said, you're asking for the bare minimum, literally the bare minimum for a goalkeeper, and we're not even getting that from Meslier anymore.
No, we're not.
It's just, it doesn't fill me with confidence. Like, again, yesterday we looked so bad from set pieces, whether it was free kicks into the box, corner kicks, we look ropey as well. He didn't fill me with any confidence. The Boyram one, I have no idea what he's trying to be out to Boyram. He can see Sam Boyram is in front of him. He sees Boyram is about to win the header and still decides to come off his line to swing a fist at it. He's in no man's land. Then again, the ball, essentially, where you look where the ball goes into the net, is right down the middle of the goal. Yep. The first one as well, if you just watch him when the ball is played through, it's hard not to, because you're obviously trying to look where the rest of the defence is. But if you just watch Meslier, he comes, hesitates, goes to come again, another little thing, and then comes again. But you can't. You can't be as a goalkeeper. You have to come straight out. If you're going to commit, well, commit and clear him out. Take your red card if that's your decision. You have to see it through, but you can't be hesitant in it. And he puts himself under severe pressure because he's outside his 18-yard box. He's at a massive disadvantage. He can't use his hands. All he can use is his legs. So what's the point of you being there? And Kamara just thinks it over him. So probably, to be honest with you, Matty, probably the worst performance I've seen from a Leeds United goalkeeper since probably Kiko in that playoff game against Derby. Really bad, but it's up there. Obviously not as much riding on this game, but if it was, when I even think back down to Norwich, lads, at Carrow Road as well, that first game, the 0-0. Do you remember his kicking, lads? He didn't do anything bad, but he just didn't fill me with confidence. He looked so ropey, hesitant on his kicks, was dropping a few as well from crosses. He doesn't fill me with any confidence. He's not a keeper that you turn around and go, yeah, he's commanding his box and, you know, his kicking is decent, his shot stopping is good.
he just everything's just below par and below average, and it's just not good enough for Leeds United and a team that wants to get out of this division.
He's not. He's definitely not good enough. 110% not.
I'll start this one here from Danny because it's something as well that it's taken away from the jubilation at Tanaka's goal, lads. And could you imagine, lads, if we won that game, whether it been 3-2 or 3-1, we'd all be still talking about Tanaka goal. We should be sitting here talking about what a brilliant goal from Tanaka, a great player that we all love and we're all delighted to have him here. But it's outshone now, boy. Poor goalkeeping error from Eli Meslier.
100%, mate. It's we'll probably get towards the end of the season, but like, why haven't we scored a goal from a midfielder this season? And we'll all forget that it was actually a worldie that we've forgotten because of that moment from Meslier. But yeah, Tanaka.
He's on his way, then. He's on his way.
Just to sort of end it on Meslier, chat lads, I sort of feel like Farker owes it now to Meslier. I say it owes it, but he has to do the right thing now. He let him play through the adversity after the Sunderland performance, didn't he? And like we said a lot, Darren, I think the next home game, the next league game after that was Sheffield United, which you came to, and we kept it away from him. The defence play. I don't know if we say some teams raise the percentages to play Leeds. I feel like the rest of the outfield players raised some percentages for those couple of games after Sunderland to really harness the pressure, make sure they took it on board and kept that, shots to a minimum. And he went 4 or 5 games with only 3 or 4 shots on goal, which was scandalous. Clean sheets breed confidence. All of a sudden, is looking okay. But I don't think you can risk doing that again with him. I think on a human level, you've just got to take him out of firing line now. If you've got something in an office, say with 100 people, and there's someone who's struggling, you've just got to pull him away in a side room, have a little chat with him, and maybe look at a different alternative because it's not working at the minute. And I feel like he's got to do that now. I don't feel like he can leave him there, hang him out to dry, because FA Cup or game after that, Chef Wednesday, if he does another one, it's going to turn toxic to his face, not online. It's going to be toxic there and then, and you can't. What's he going to do? And sub him off after that? Like, he's got to. You can see with him, he's a confidence player. That you were on about that third goal there, Darren. That only happened, that third goal, because of the second goal. At that point, he's gone. Yeah. At that point, he's gone. You might as well sub him off for that second goal because his head's gone. So for me, I don't think he can afford to let him try and play through this adversity, because at the minute, mate, we don't look as strong at the back. So after the last fuck up, we found some solidarity there, and he didn't have many shots at him. I don't know if we've got that at the minute. I feel like with injuries at full-back position, the side at the minute's a little bit more unsettled at the back. So he's going to face shots currently, even against Harrogate if he plays. We're going to face shots against Harrogate for me, because we'll make a few changes here and there. There'll be shots on goal. He can't afford to play at the minute. He's got to take him out of firing line. I don't know if you agree with that on a human level.
No, I agree, Matty, because I think, like we said against Harrogate, I think we will swap it up. I think you might see a De Boyo, you might see a Gillibogie. Okay. It might be very, very similar kind of feel to Middlesbrough. Let's hope it's not the same result, but it is going to be a side that haven't played together this season, and that can be detrimental. So we'll obviously see how it goes. But like that, I know that Danny is saying there he might stick him in against Harrogate to try and grow his confidence again. But I just don't think we have it. And I obviously sent you the interview with Big Sam when he spoke about Eli Meslier and the reason for taking him out, making that decision, a massive move to bring Robles in. And he just turned around and said his confidence is completely shot. And I think Daniel Farke just has to do the same thing, because it would have taken him a lot to pick his confidence up off the floor against Sunderland. As I said, for them, 6 or 7 games after that, we kept absolutely everything away from him and gave him the opportunity to grow back and get his confidence back again. We haven't got that luxury anymore. We can't have any passengers on this team, lads, and that's exactly what he's becoming, is a passenger.
But it's the same with the wingers, lads. When one of the wingers are performing, they're rotated. Why can't you rotate the goalkeeper?
Yeah.
So there's no difference. Like, at the end of the day, he's simply not performing. You want to get us out of this league, he's not performing. Bring the other players that you have, and whether it is Darlow or Kearns. Why did you go get these players if you're not going to use them?
It can cause
issues. I'm trying to throw it in a sense. Meslier is still a young lad. At the end of the day, and he was good when he was with Bielsa. Yeah, but as Darren said, he just declined. And he's been declining ever since.
I just want to move on, lad. Yeah.
Sorry. Has he declined or had he peaked under Bielsa like a lot of them players? Had he gone above his level?
Every other player under Bielsa was playing at the heights. Bielsa seen something in him that his distribution is something that could be worked on and something that's very, very good. And after that, then when we had Marsh, Gracier, he obviously was taking it under Big Sam, and now under Big Farke, his distribution has gone to the dogs, lad. Some of his kicking is absolute banana full. Just the ball goes out of play all the time. His distribution has gone bad. His controlling from corners, everything. He's really declined as a goalkeeper, which is mad to say because he's so young. But I do want to just move on slightly, lads. Still has a little bit to do with Meslier. But Skip says here, and he's a really good point. I love that picture of Batty, by the way. What a short.
Yeah, what a juice.
Does this team have to take some blame as to how much they crumbled and lost control of the game? And I do think that they do as well, lads, because as much as Meslier is to blame for the 2 goals after that, I think we always talk about Daniel Fark being risk averse when we're at home at Ellen Road, we're winning 2 or 3-0, and we can see the juggler there, and we never seem to go for it. We're always reserved and we keep the ball. Yesterday we should have done that, but we didn't. We kept giving the ball back, and that's not Meslier to do that. It wasn't Meslier giving away the free kicks outside the box. It wasn't Meslier giving away the corners. Yeah, the buck stops with him, and he should be doing better. But I think it was a collective out there as well, lads. I think it was just a poor performance as well. We did so well to get back into the game. And out there as well, we fumbled it as well, lads, because some of the play, we just kept giving it back. It was like we were trying to force it too much. Some of our passing on a really poor pitch, trying to force it. There was no need for it when you're winning 3-1. You just take this thing out of the game. You keep the ball, let Hull City chase you around for a couple of minutes, and then you go get a fourth if that's what you want to do. But we didn't do that. Like, as soon as we got the third, we just kept trying to hit them, and it wasn't game management whatsoever. So I do agree with what Skip says there. I do think they do have to take somewhat of the blame, mostly on Elan Meslier, but at the end of the day, it is a game full of 11 players, so some of them do have to take the blame. Would you agree, lads?
Yeah, 100%. There was a collective thing all over the full 11. Even down to the corner. Amadou, as a captain that he is, should have been a bit more switched on. We weren't. You can't just blame Meslier. It's a team effort. At the end of the day, to 3-1, I have to give the boys 10 out of 10 for coming out in the second half and turning it around.
I think it's the other lads' reason why we didn't get a clean sheet, and the stats looked more level than what they would normally in that game. Our level dropped, which made for an entertaining game. I thoroughly enjoyed the game until the Meslier incident. You know me, I like a bit of jeopardy. I enjoyed the first half. I enjoyed that crack with you thinking we're going to come back. I enjoyed it when we're flying at 3-1. I sort of saw it coming. But if I'm honest, the result is Melier's fault. The lads... I'd blame the lads for conceding one of the, a goal and letting Hull play with a bit of belief. I'll say that, which obviously means they're pumping balls into box that they might not do, which Meslier then fumbles. If we're out there and we maybe put 4 or 5 past them like we should have done, and nullify them, maybe they haven't got the confidence to keep coming. Fair enough. If I'm trying to agree with that point a bit more, but for me, the results, Meslier, the performance is on the lads. But the performance was bad. But we'd be sat here right now saying we didn't play that well, but we won 3-1. But it's on Meslier. That is for me.
Yeah, no, look, I agree 100%. Like, Dillo, I think you're probably going to echo it as well, that it's very much a collective as well, as much as it is Meslier, he's the final line of defence. Them players do it out there as well, do have to take a lot of the blame. There is a video going around as well where you see, I think it's Rotwell, Pirro and Rodon going absolutely mental at Elan Meslier just before that. Before that as well, lads, we're trying to organise a little bit better. You're all over the place as well, defensively, in the midfield as well before that. So it's not entirely Melier's blame. Yeah, he was at fault for the goal, but try and be better before that as well. Try and manage the game a little bit better. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
100%. So I think what Amadou, I seen that. I know what Darren's on about. It just seemed like I actually felt sorry on Meslier, if I'm being honest with you, and especially from Rodon. Rodon's giving him some stick, But at the end of the day, he's not performing, so I can understand it from both sides. I think at the end of the day, it's obvious the players aren't backing him anymore. It's just down to Daniel Fark. Give Darlow. Darlow has Premier League appearances under his belt. Give him a go. How worse can he get?
Can Darlow really be that bad? Can he be really that worse?
So how worse can he get?
I think if the two of them are at their peak games, yeah, Meslier is much better the goalkeeper what we've seen in the Premier League. But the way he's playing now, he's well below his peak. So surely Darlow has to be better.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I agree.
100%.
I agree, man.
We'll do a couple of comments here. Michael says, do the obvious and go get Johansson from Stoke. And that's not a knee-jerk comment. Meslier, yeah, he's goalkeeper. That's not a knee-jerk comment. Meslier has been given plenty of time. Like Bamford, he needs a new club to kick his career on. And I agree, lads. And it could be one of them situations, and you probably get people turning around saying, if he goes off somewhere, whether it's, across Europe, or if he does go to an Arsenal, United, or whoever it may be, he probably will kick on and he probably will have a decent career. I just think now at the minute at Leeds United, it's not working for both parties, and that could just be the situation where clubs and players they've grown out of each other, and I think it's came to that time. A lot like Paddy Bamford, it's time to just move on, isn't it?
Yeah, Bamford definitely 110%.
Can I
get that video from behind the goal? Yeah, it is, buddy. I think it's all over X and TikTok. You see it behind the goal, and you see them just giving them pelters.
Can I get your thoughts, lads, on the style of play at Hull? I did a video earlier, and it was touching on a lot of has been said of Farke's. I say tactics, but the way Leeds play under Farke. A lot of 2 and 3-0s, which I think are sound. A lot of people saying it's poor football, it's slow. We want a little bit more blood and thunder, don't we? Want to see exciting football. Well, you saw exciting football at Hull. No matter what you say, it was exciting football. You can't play that sort of attacking football relentlessly, which Leeds were going. Yeah, they were appalling. First half, the tempo were down, but they had chance after chance after chance. We kept on going forward. You can't play that way consistently and not concede chances, right? So I want to put it to chat. I want to put it to you guys. Do you want to see 3-alls, 3-2 wins, 4-3 wins, but some 3-alls, some 2-alls, or do you want to see 2-0, 3-0, and then complain it's boring? You can't have it all. Like Swansea, we won 4-3. What a thrilling game that was. Brilliant to win a game that way. But then we sat there talking about how Paul were leaking 3 goals. But under Bielsa, we were flying. We loved that. So I just want to get your thoughts on that sentiment.
I think I'll just go first real quick. I think it's down to the way that we're drawn and losing games, mate. And every single game that we've lost or we've dropped points, it's always been slow build-up play. Not quick enough, not sharp passes, and then the likes of Pirro not on it. Nando, I'm just throwing names out here. Just lads simply aren't on it. And then 70th minute, he's bringing, as I would like to call it, enemy plan B, chucking a load of attacking players on to see what happens and hope for the best. But yeah, look, it is enjoyable. I will agree with that. But in the first half, it wasn't. It was only until the second half happened where I was like, I'm enjoying watching Leeds play here. If you did watch the watch along yesterday, it was very hard to comment on. And that's me being honest. It was dead. There was no tempo. Hull, now don't get me wrong, Hull set up well. But it's coming out from the back. What I've noticed what Ampadu and Road on, they're very slow to build up the play. It's too slow. Simple as. And that's where teams catch us on the counter. Because we're forcing. We get a few shots off. Aronson blooms it over the bar. Bamford puts it into the stands. Whatever it may be. Before you know it, then they're up and, on a counter attack and scoring a goal or we're giving away a penalty. It's the same way we lose every time. I know we didn't lose, but it feels like a lose.
Yeah, it feels like a loss. Feels like we throw it away. Richard Hogan does have a good comment here. As the follow on for that video, why was the whole goalkeeper quicker to react than our defenders? I'm not trying to take away from Meslier's mistake, but their forward got to the ball before Rodon, Pirro, and Rotwell. And I agree with you, Richard. And this is what I was saying before that it's still a team game and it's still all a collective. If someone else does their job a little bit better, they may, prevent that goal. Yeah, Meslier is the one to make the mistake to palm it down unless they're thinking, he has his handy. It is kind of a looping ball. It looks like a fairly handy one that it's going over the bar. And that they're just caught a little bit flat-footed thinking, he is just going to palm it away. I'm not too sure, but I just think in the lead up to that, giving away the free kick, not going winning the first header to try and clear the danger when the free kick does come in. It's all a collective. It all has a knock-on effect. You can even talk about, how someone threw a ball in the 20th minute of the game. It all leads on any decision that any player makes on that pitch at any given time. All impacts how the game is going to go, and it's unfortunate that the moments are highlighted by Ilya Meslier, but again, it is a collective and it is a game, and just at times you'd like Meslier to try and dig us out a little bit more. Where do you think, this is actually a really, really good question, lads, where do you think the current squad would finish in Premier League? Mate, I'll put it to you, this squad right now, where do you think it would finish in the Premier League?
And I'm an ultra positive fan, but I'd bite your hand off for 17th for this side. I think we'd be right down there. I think we're right down there. I think when you look at, let's be fair now, how do you think Sheffield United and Burnley are going to do? Or Sunderland if they go up? You're going to expect them all to come back down. Well, they're right up our arse now.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Yeah, we'd be right down there. We'd be right down there. Still you?
Yeah, definitely. Bottom 5 anyway.
Yeah.
We've already said that if we go up, that we need 6-7 minimum to strengthen the squad, the whole spine of the team. So yeah, I think we'd be right down there. That's why people did want Ampadu playing, cause the slow build up. Yeah, I think Ampadu in the middle of the park might have been a little bit better because centre half it definitely didn't work at the time. When I seen the team sheet come out at 2 o'clock and I seen Strike wasn't there, obviously we were first kind of scrambling, going, "Oh, is he going to Spurs?" But when you find out he is just injured, I actually didn't.
But Darren, going back to what you said there
well
as well about with like Wilbur coming on at left back. The ideal thing would have been on there, put Wilbur centre half, bring Schmidt on.
To be honest with you, Dylan, the way that we played, I don't think Wilbur would have helped. I don't know about you lads, but the way he played, even at left full, do you really think he would have done a better job than Ampadu? Because I don't, lads. Look,
is that not hindsight though, Dillo? You know, I mean, let's be fair. Mate, we when that lineup came out, we were all happy with Wilbur at left back. He's been sound when he's played at left back.
And we didn't mind Ampadu. We didn't mind Ampadu because how well him and Joe Rodon played last season. Two absolute brick walls at the back, no one could get through. Exactly. So there's no getting away from lads when that team sheet came out. You're still looking at that going, that is a very strong squad. The back line is solid. Ampadu, Rodon, what we seen for them last season. You got a decent right full in Jaden Bogle. Wilbur's going to be defensively solid and gives us what he gives us at Ellen Road. They were all just way off, lads. Every single one of them. It was a first half performance, as I said, was one of the poorest that I've seen Leeds United play for a long, long time. First 20-25 minutes for the same 11 that started. I don't know what Daniel Fark, and you have to give him his flowers at half time. Whatever he said at half time, he really got them going in the second half because the tempo was up, the quality was there, the urgency was there. We got a 3-goal lead. And then we absolutely fumble it, exactly like what we do at Blackburn. We have the 3 points in our hands and we throw it away. And to be honest with you, lads, when I went 3-all, I was thinking I was saying it on the watch along. I had an awful feeling that I won 4-3. And I think if that game had went for another 5 or 10 minutes, we would have lost that game because we were very shaky the whole game from minute one till that final whistle went. That back line, not just Meslier, that back line altogether, lads, were ropey yesterday. Really, really poor all over the place.
100%.
You could feel momentum change, couldn't you? Like you say, you could see like any more added time in there, a couple more balls in the box. Like you say, I had a fancy conceding the 400%. So I was glad full time whistle went. To be fair, because that momentum shift, edge went down. I sort of feel like that happened at Blackburn as well. You know, I feel like that's maybe a reason we started slow at Hull. Say we still had chances, we were still bombarding their area with chances in that first half, even though it were poor. If we'd have been on it, we'd have scored a few in that first half. But I do feel like conceding that late equaliser at Blackburn, which, like we said, feels like a loss still, does that conceding so late. I feel like they were they had the tail between the legs that first half at Hull. I think they were sulking a little bit. They took it from Blackburn game into the Hull game. And it were only at half-time when they got back together and regrouped and probably had some stern words where you've got to give Farker flowers for that because 100% he's manager and he will have grilled him at half-time. We don't know what his style is when he's talking to lads. We only see him in press conferences, which aren't always the best. But he's definitely got to... he's improved him there at half-time. But I do feel like there were a little bit of sulking going on that first half from the Blackburn game. And now we just need to make sure it doesn't happen again going on because we've done the same again. It's exactly the same sort of end result to Blackburn game, innit? You had it there in palm of your hands and you've gifted him... your 2 points that you had in your back pocket. So yeah, it just needs to not become a mentality thing. We've seen this side a lot, lads, haven't we? We go through a period of time where we always say that you can't play in London, you can't play in this kit, you can't win away from home, you can't win your third game, you can't win midweek, you can't win and now it's like we can't. Now it's like we're in a bit of a run now. We're conceding late goals all of a sudden. Like we can't let that roll on. We need to be able to
mate, it's starting to roll back again. What we've seen under Bielsa starting to roll back is that we're starting to concede from set pieces now. We're starting to look really acceptable from set pieces now. Whether it's corners coming in, free kicks from the edge of the box, so just don't do it. Like if we're really that bad from defending them, just don't give them away. And that does come out to the outfield players. Stephen Bourne does have a reply back to you here, Marty. Yeah, definitely, man. So he says, Matty, I'm off for football to entertain, to excite us, give fans bums off to see, but give me a 3-2 all day over a boring 1-0.
Love that.
Yeah, look, I'm with you there, Stephen, 100%, but there's times where you're just not at, and the prime example is the Cardiff away one that I went there when they got down to 10 men. The most boring game of football for my first ever away day. But lads, I still walked out there with Leeds United 3 points in their back pocket, and there's fans walking out there going, get Fark out. But
it's not even 1-0, Darren. We don't win 1-0, do we? We win 2 or 3-0, but that's still deemed as boring. We don't win 1-0. It's how often do we win 1-0? It's rare.
Yeah, it never is just 1-0.
Oh, rare, mate. Oh.
This is what I was about to get at, lads. Well, it was going to be my next question about Meslier, because obviously, look, he's been on the floor a couple of times. That Sunderland one was an absolute calamity. He's had another one here again. But Andy Rowe has asked the question for me. This could be a mentality scar for Meslier for life. I hope he gets the resilience in shades, because I dread the consequences for the lad. we're all humans with different breaking points, and like it's a great way to put it in the 100% because we do have all different breaking points, and we do have all, where comes a point where you feel like enough's enough, or there's too much on you in different situations, and he would have been feeling that, lads, for that 2 weeks after Sunderland, that international break, like that was a long time to to stew and dwell on that mistake without getting back on the pitch. You want a quick turnaround, and again now he probably won't play against Harrogate, and it's going to be the following week that he comes on against Sheff Wednesday. I'm just not sure that Elan Meslier really does have the mental capacity, and I hope he proves me wrong. I don't see him bouncing back for this. I just think mentally at Leeds United that the scars are done, that they're there for life, and there's no getting rid of them.
No, I agree. I think he lost his confidence me that second year in Prem, lads, when he was picking ball out of his net 4, 5, 6 times a game. I feel like that around that time Bielsa got sacked. That was last time you saw anything decent from Meslier. The months leading up to that dreadful month where we conceded like 25 goals in 4 games, whatever it was scandalous. But that was the beginning of the end for Meslier for me, and he's never really recovered. He spent the next 12 months after that picking the ball out of his net. Record goals scored, conceded for a side in Premier League. Just ridiculous at how poor he was. He then gets dropped. You're thinking there's no way he can come back from that, and then it starts that opening day last season, and you just think, we've dropped down a division. He'll be all right at this level, which he is. I say you can't all passengers. We sort of are to a degree, but that passenger's going to cost you points at certain times in game, and because we haven't got that gap that we all hoped and thought of, it's too tight to carry him for me. If we were as clear as what I hoped and thought it would be, you could maybe get away with odd clanger, but those clangers have brought us right back to that chasing pack now, and one more of them and we're down to 3rd or 4th, aren't we? So it's now got to a point now where you're only 1 loss and a few winning to being 4th now. A couple of bad results like this and we could be 4th and then chasing a gap. And we've already seen Burnley brought in a couple of players already, whether we agree with how good they are. They're making changes
they're making moves.
Their side.
They're making moves.
Ashley Barnes, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sheffield United are about to sign Ben Brereton Diaz. Like, in this division, absolute quality signing for Sheffield United. Brilliant. And then Sunderland are going to look at something similar because they're right in mixed again. Sunderland were falling away, and I'm thinking they're going to struggle to strengthen it. All of a sudden, they're right.
Yeah, but sure, they're talking about Louis Barry. They're talking about getting Glenn Kamara back. You get the 2 of them experienced midfield, someone with a little bit of quality going forward. And there's very little way of rumours for Leeds United. I don't know about you lads, but I feel obviously a really, really good Christmas period for Leeds United. We picked up 10 points out of a possible 12. Really, really good. We're all delighted with it. I just feel like the last 2 games and the last 2 results against Blackburn and Hull have somehow tarnished the really good work that we've done over a really good Christmas period. Is it a case to be worried at the minute, lads, that this is a little rot setting in, or do you just think that this is Leeds' little blip? Because, to be fair, we haven't really had our backs against the walls yet this season. Is this just a little blip for Leeds United, or is there a little bit more there that we should be concerned about?
There's definitely more to be concerned about, 100%. It's the same way, as I said, going back to Burnley, going back to, Middlesbrough and the Cup. I know under the circumstances a lot of players were leaving and all, but, you can say Portsmouth as well, first game of the season. It's an endless thing. Meslier's to blame for a few of them as well. But there's a problem in that starting 11 and in this team. And to be honest with you, it's one that there's no cover in certain positions. We have in that 10 position. I know Aronson's doing a good job. You need someone in there for rotation. So players are a must.
This is a good comment here as well from Jamie, and I think you're the same, Matty, and us here in OnlyLeedsBros. Jamie, we're not very hung up on stats. We're very much what we see by the eye. But he says the stats show Mez isn't good enough. He's in the bottom half of the keepers in the league for goals prevention. Compare him to Burnley and Sheffield United goalkeepers, Cooper and Trafford, who are ranked as some of the best keepers in the league. And it proves it, lads. The stats are there to back it up, but also the eye. What we see from the eye is there to back it up as well. And I just think, this is where Leeds United's biggest downfall is going to be. And we talk about trying to get out of this division. It's a massive call. If Bark and the 49ers, for me, do you want the best for Leeds United, they have to be looking at a goalkeeper in January. And I know that might sound mental to say, and that they're probably not going to do it. But we just can't. We can't have any sentiment. We can't have any loyalty. He's simply not performing for Leeds United at a level to get us out of this division. And if it keeps going the way it's going, he genuinely is going to cost us promotion, and that sounds absolutely drastic, lads. But we will look back if we again fall into the playoffs by another 2 or 3 points. We're looking back at Sunderland, we're looking back at Hull, and we're saying that was Meslier that done that to us. So it really is. It's that much of a fine line in this division. We all talk about being front and centre. We're very, very far away from being front and centre. So the 49ers, for me, they have to act. Before yesterday, I was happy enough saying, yeah, number 10, possible full backs, to a little bit of cover there, because obviously the Smith situation. But for me, lads, we need to be looking at a goalkeeper, or at the very, very least, be bringing Darlow or Kearns in and give them a bash at it.
Can you flag up that Carl Hennessy's comment? Because I think it's a really good point. But
just about,
yeah, I mean,
buddy. Yeah, go ahead, mate. If you want to.
At the end of it all, Meslier is a 12 to 15 million pound asset to our club, so we need to be careful what we do with him. We don't want to devalue his transfer. I've said this in previous streams. I've said this.
How buddy and friend? I'll let you have this one. You love this one.
Do you know what it is? So it's got to a point now, mate, where what difference does it make? You know, let's say, for argument's sake, if you look at it the other way, it costs us promotion and we don't go up, but Meslier is still worth 15 million and we sell him to someone. Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck about that? You know, and I get that comment, Carl. I totally get that. Like,
that's like your house falling down around you. Needs a lick of paint on the outside. It has no electricity, but you have a 20 or 90-inch plasma screen sitting on your telly that looks beautiful. Like, you know what I mean? No good. You have no electricity, mate.
No, of course not, mate. No, I mean, it's a great point, because I definitely echo that at certain points of the season, Carl. Like, if Leeds could have the perfect scenario, he plays through the form, we get over the line, he does okay, because he's going to end up, if he plays every game, he's going to end up in the top 3 for clean sheets, which is a personal stat that looks good, but we know a clean sheet isn't too personal for a goalkeeper. It's the defence, it's the midfield, it's the collective, which is a shame, but it's still... If he didn't do these 2 howlers and he got through the season without any headlines for the wrong reasons, and he ended up with 20 clean sheets, it would probably be worth 10, 15 million, can move him on, and Leeds would want that. Leeds would probably have it in their head. Let's get through the season with Meslier and we'll sell him. Problem is, he's getting very, very close now to being 2 kilometres when it's going to cost us promotion, and then 15 million for Meslier means absolutely diddly squat, Carl. And it's in an ideal situation, the 49ers want to play him, I'm sure, because 100% is one of the assets. I mean, going back 3 years, 4 years, we're probably looking at Mez then at 20, 25 million. First year in Prem, we're probably thinking we've got an absolute world class, and I say those words. I don't even use them loosely.
We were Thomas, yeah.
In the waiting, he looked like he had everything, and he was 20-year-old, and you're thinking, Jesus, what a player. So, but now I just think
he came into that side. Sorry for cutting across you, mate. When Kiko was having an absolute howler, and he shored up that defense and essentially got us promotion. And I think that's the exact same thing was to happen here. He needs to be taking all the firing line. We need to get a goalkeeper in there who's stable enough and builds from the back, because we just don't have it. Yeah, but like we just said, mate, for me, it's just the way he's playing at the minute. He's devaluing his value anyway.
Yeah, he is.
There's no way he's 25 million, lads. What would you say? Like, if someone came in for 10 million for Elan Meslier, like, I'd be, more than
that. It'd be good.
I wouldn't give a fiver for it.
Look, go on, send him on. Richard Hogan has a good one here. So 4 games in 12 days is pretty heavy work, and there's no denying that, Richard. We didn't lose over the Christmas period. The real problem is that we probably won't look to strengthen in January, while everybody else will get new players in, and that's it. And we've spoke about, lads, how many times have we spoke about this on the final point? When the January window comes, that Leeds United cannot sit on their hands and rest while the other teams around them strengthen, and that's exactly what they're already looking to do. And we just need to go do it and not wait till the last week of the window and see how the land lies. We need to get it done now and get them in the door. And
what have I said though, Darren? Like this poor form now starting in January could be a good thing for Leeds. Could be a good thing, because they're looking at it, mate, and that after Blackburn game, they're looking at it going, maybe we do need that 10, actually. Brendan's been brilliant recently, but maybe we do need that 10. We looked a little bit off it today against Blackburn. And then this game against Hull, we're all right, we don't need it. Oh, maybe we do need a goalkeeper now. Maybe we'll just have a little look. We'll go in office on Monday. We'll have a little look at that short list again. Genuinely, it's just where we absolutely destroy Blackburn and we absolutely destroy Hull, and they're probably just going to rest on the laurels out there, and we know they would, because why put money into something that the outcome's going to be the same? If they believe they're going to go up, why put money in it? I've said this every single stream, but
Matty,
now
I have the answer for you.
It's a little bit of worry now.
Yeah, surely they're thinking now, mate. Surely they're thinking now. Just sorry to before you go, a class comment here from Leather Sandals. He just has a brilliant quote. Meslier racking up the assists this season, should be a number 10. That's the answer, lads. That's the swap for Aronson. Dillo, what are we gonna say, buddy?
Yeah, just like the rumor, the transfers that's going on between Sheffield United and Burnley, and teams and Leeds are just floating above water. Like if it's nothing. That's a typical Leeds thing. At the end of the day, we want to get out of this division. we need to be completely on it. The lads, like, there should be names.
You haven't got the luxury, though. It feels, like, again, this sounds dramatic, say, lads, but it feels actually detrimental if Leeds United don't go up this season, because, like, we've seen some serious talent leave this squad in the summer. We did very well to keep the ones here that we still have. But, like, you bet your bottom dollar, lads, if it comes to the summertime and we haven't got out of this division, like, they're all gone. They're absolutely all gone, lads. And this could set Leeds United back. Like, you're talking Fark out the door. Well. It could set Leeds. It could be another 16 years, lads, before we get out of this division. And that sounds dramatic to say. But that's what a fine line is at the minute. And it's imperative for the 49ers. And going back to what Matty says, this might be a blessing in disguise, this little blip in form, because it might make the 49ers and Prague sit up and say, you know, we haven't got this easy here. We do need to go. We do need to recruit. And looking back, they probably are thinking, why didn't we go get a number 10 in the summer when Fark was pushing? Why didn't we just sign the checkbook? And, you know, I'm not saying throw the hat at it and, you know, put the club into, you know, into free fall like what Rizdale done. But like what we've heard Prague saying, that we're going to be on the line. We'll be on the line of FFP. We'll never cross it, but we'll always be on the line of FFP. Like, surely we're not on the line, lads. Like, surely there has to be something there in the bank, and they have to be looking. What we all see as fans, they have to be seeing the same thing as well, what the squad needs.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what boils my piss, mate? We saw it when we got relegated from Prem. No matter what we think about Meslier, yeah, guaranteed, if we went down this season, and we all blame Meslier, just say that happened, he gets a move back to France and probably plays in the Europa League side, the conference side, and we're stuck in Championship. We saw it, mate. We got relegated from Prem, and Rasmus Christian went and played for fucking Roma the season we got relegated. Like, you can think what you want. This happens. And that's where the whole side before self comes, you know. No player's bigger than the club, because ultimately they can move on whenever they want. And even if we think they're shite, they can still have an upward turning form that can get them to a move that they could have only ever dreamed of. Look at Calvin at Leeds, almost on his way out door, and he ends up playing and winning Champions League. It's mental. So we've always got to protect the club.
Rafinha as well, mate. Do you remember Rafinha was getting some stick at the bottom of that Premier League season? You know,
Rafinha playing right wing back.
Playing right wing back on long throw-ins, and Rafinha isn't good enough. Gives the ball away. Look where he is now. Like, potential on the verge of a Ballon d'Or. Unbelievable stuff from him. So yeah, I agree with you, mate. But
take him back in a second.
Sometimes some players just don't suit clubs and suit managers at that period of time, and it's not a bad thing. And that's where we are. I think with Meslier at the minute, it definitely needs a shake up. If, and that's a big if, we get anyone, it will be the final 3 days of the window. And I agree, Danny, 100%. And then we won't see the players for 5 or 6 weeks for them to get up to speed. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, Danny, that we need to be doing it now. We know a fact that it is going to be potential 4 to 5 weeks for them to get up and running. So I'm more of the ilk, get them in now, and then we can have them mid-February for a nice little run, you know, at it towards the end of the season. So we need to try and get it done now. Danny, you're more make it up.
Can I touch on that Andy comment, mate, about the stadium?
Yeah, that's it there. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Has a new stadium gone down the list of the 49ers agenda? I feel they're very quiet for a massive franchise. You know what it is, Andy? It's not gone quiet. I know someone I've spoken about before. I know someone who does the TV systems at Ellen Road has been sat in the meetings. It all looks nice and dandy. It's all going to happen when we go up. It's all just sat waiting. But if I'm honest, I want the stadium to be right at the fucking bottom of the agenda right now, lads. I don't want any thought process to even be on that. They've had the meetings, they've drawn up the plans, everyone's sat ready for them to push the button. They've got every single contractor lined up, ready. I know that for a fact, ready to when they push the button. I do not want them to spare another fucking second's thought on that stadium until they get us out of this godforsaken league. Because that stadium does not mean pish if we stay in this championship, and it will never happen. So we're talking about something here that might never happen. So you've got to talk about the things that are in your control, and that is go and get the business done we need. If you feel we need it, go get us out of this fucking league, and then we'll talk stadium next season. That's got to be it for me. It's got to be. Sorry to be so blunt.
No, 100% agree with you, Matt. Yeah, and just to touch on that as well, there's no way that anywhere like concentration or funds should be directed towards a new stadium when the team are playing at the way they are at the minute. The first and foremost the 49ers need to do is invest in the squad, get us up, and that as soon as it's confirmed, you push the button on that new stadium if that's what you want to do. But first and foremost, get your ducks in a row. Don't be jumping ahead. Don't be run before you can walk. Let's get out of this division first, and then we worry about a stadium redevelopment after that. Look, it'd be great to see. Don't get me wrong. Does Ellen Road need it? 110%. But does it need it down in the championship? Then when attendance starts dropping, there's only 19,000-20,000 people showing up for a championship game. It's not going to mean fuck all then, Matty, is it? So we need to get out of this division to make it worthwhile.
Too right.
Fark takes Meslier out. and we'll say that it's an injury to the press. Jesus Christ, leather sandals, this is right. I'm gonna kiss your feet. All we need to do is a decent shot stopper, and yeah, hopefully that's what you'd hope, lads. If you do turn around and say Meslier is carrying a bit of a bang, and then you kind of know what the situation is there.
Sorry, look at Sean Healy's coming.
See you later, Arthur, buddy. Yeah, just about to go there now. Sean Healy, they're showing Meslier's highlights on the Crime Channel. 100%, yeah. I'd seen someone saying yesterday that Meslier surely has to be investigated for match fixing because it was that bad. It was that borderline. Not saying he did match fix, but it was that bad. Yeah, that's what comes to mind. And this one here, lads, I do want to bring up getting away from Meslier and the whole Hull and Blackburn situation. So our easy run of games, are over now. We're facing a stiffer opposition, and that's exactly what it is, lads. Well, the next 3 in the league: Sheff Wednesday, home; Norwich, home; and then Burnley away on Monday night. Matty, come to you first, buddy. How do you feel about just them next 3?
Yeah, worried, mate. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because I'd say Norwich. They can turn up on Norwich, mate, and put 3 or 4 past you if they're all on it, but they can also concede. That we've seen that at Ellerville before. But Burnley's going to be tight regardless. You know, that's going to be a 0-0 or a 1-0 either way or something like that game. And yeah, the Wednesday one a few weeks back, I'd have said we'll do that now with our form and with Danny Rowland, where Sheffield Wednesday been playing recently. Yeah, honestly, mate, that's 3 really tough fixtures. That, you know, what I want to see now is for this FA Cup game. I've sort of changed my mind on the FA Cup game, lads. I've gone from wanting wholesale changes, give kids a chance to. I don't, you know, they've got 7 days off now. I want them to play a decent strength side there. You know, I don't mind odd tweak here and there, but if I'm honest, I don't want to see your Cruz, your DeBayos, I don't. I want to see these lads go out and play against Harrogate League 2, and if they're not at it, watch them be embarrassed in front of their own fans. I want that for them. I want them to go out there and
I'm the same. We said about it before Stoke. I said I didn't want wholesale changes. I want them fringe players that are sitting on the bench. Your Joseph, your Nantos, your Ramazanis, your Gilavogis, your Gelharts, them like that, who are really, really talented players that should be more than capable to get on that pitch and do a job for us. I want to see them play. Even the likes your Max Forwards as well, like your Isaac Smiths, your Darlows. I want to see them play. Like, it's great to obviously bring on your Crews and your Chambers. Yeah, leave them on the bench and do it, you know, when the game is kind of home and hose. But I'm like you, mate. Them players that are sitting on the bench not getting a run, especially Ramazani is not those at the minute. Like what you said, go out and show what you're made of against League 2 Harrogate, and then if you're not at it, well, then watch everyone in Ellen Road give you a little bit of stick, because you should be more than capable to do a job against them. Yeah, so totally agree.
I mean, I don't think they can just put all kids in for that game, you know, especially after, if we'd have won that game against Hull, you could sort of park the bus on that side and go, right, have a couple of weeks off, and then you'll be playing against Sheff Wednesday. But some of these players now, I mean, obviously that bench isn't really a weakened side. It's just freshening it up, because a lot of them bench players could start for this side. They're just currently not showing it. So give them a game against in FA Cup, let them get a bit of form, hopefully a bit of confidence, and then, you know, whether we revert back to the side that got drew yesterday or a mixture at 2, you know, some of these combinations, some of these players now are in form. So the starting players that have been bossing it, mate, hence why they've been starting, they're now not in form. The bench currently isn't in form. So currently now you're looking at that side going, yeah, there's a few still playing well. Your Solomons, your Ampadu, there's some players still playing well, but a couple of combinations now all of a sudden aren't playing too well. So maybe they need to play through this in a game that should be a little bit easier, get a bit of confidence back and go again. So yeah, I'm honestly, for this one, I'm not all for playing kids in this one.
I'm even like this with Leather Sandal as well. Like, even if it is Pirro in the cup, I would 100%. I'd let him feast as well, because it's the following Sunday, and it's more. He's more than capable, and look what you always say, Matty. Like, it's not like he runs around the pitch runs his socks off like you know, James or an Aronson. So he's more than capable to go out against Harrogate. You know, 2 or 3 goals, let him get his confidence up as well. So I'm 100%. Like you. I want a couple of changes, a little bit of rotation, but I don't want it to be wholesale. I don't want players that, you know, we haven't seen at all, even sitting on the bench. So I'm totally in agreement with that one, buddy. Yeah. Let Joseph play to get his magic back. Yeah, look, you could agree either way. It's one of them with Pirro and Joseph. And like that, if Joseph, we've seen him do it under 21s, he should be able to do it against League 2 Harrogate lads, shouldn't he?
Yeah, sure.
Evening, Chris. Hope you're keeping well. Thanks for popping in. And the Macam Cabby, hello. How are you, buddy? And evening, Noich. Yeah, lads, look at anyone else. That's kind of all my questions over the line. Dillo, you want else, or Matty? Any other questions you want to bring to the table?
No, it's going to be some serious. Going back to the next 3 games of fixtures. I think Sheffield United, or Sheffield Wednesday, is the one we're going to slip up on. No, that sounds mad. I guarantee Leeds will put it up to Burnley and Norwich. But something will happen. You wait and see.
I think they're all tough, Matty. Like you, like Sheffield Wednesday. You know, it's a Yorkshire derby. We know with them. For over the course of the years, it's always one of them games we either do really well against them or we always kind of slip up. It's the Norwich at home one. That's the one that concerns me a little bit, just because they're just so unpredictable. That Norwich team, I know Brower Signs is out now, which is obviously a massive plus for us, but they still have very capable players in that squad that can do damage to this Leeds side. And then Burnley away down on the Monday, lads. For me, that is massive. That is absolutely massive. You wouldn't say it's a game changing season, but it's definitely up there. I can't see them conceding much goals, and like what Matty said, it could be a 0-0 written all over it, or just a goal either side. And Jesus Christ, I just hope it's not from a mistake from our goalkeeper. We need that's a game that we really need to be winning. We'll get into a couple of comments because they're just starting to fly in here now. And so I'm guessing now that we put a contract on hold for Fresh, prong sandwiches for the corporate Leeds fans. No prongs. No prongs. We'll have to stick to the dirty pie that's still stuck on the wall. My starting 11, I think Clark will play against Harrogate is Meslier, Boyram, Gilavogi, DeBoyo, Smith, Ampadu, Crew, Ramazani, Joffe, Nanto, Bamford. Yeah, I'd rather either see Pirro or Joseph.
I can't see him making that many changes.
Too many changes.
Change for me, but definitely not Bamford for me. 14 just go get Jason Steele on loan, Premier ready goalkeeper. Can't disagree, Nige. Can't disagree with him. Cannot disagree. Where's the Arnson picture?
Signed shirt right behind me. Signed shirt behind me.
Still there. Sir, are you joking? Macklem, Stephen, Bunton would do a better job.
There's one thing I'd like to touch on, Darren, right quick before we go. Where do we feel like it's going with Ramazani? Because I know currently he's playing second fiddle to the best player form-wise at Leeds now. He's overtaken James, obviously. He's by far the best player we've got currently on form, probably technically in the league. Is he playing second fiddle for that position? Because we've already seen, as we all think, he could probably do a job in 10. He doesn't seem to play that one right. Are we now in a position now where Ramazani is a bench option while ever Solomon's playing well? And I don't see... There's a potential that Solomon doesn't drop off from this form. You know, we were always building to this, and this is his level. Like, this is the level he's playing at in Championships, not his level, but the level he's playing to. He could even get better. I don't see him getting any worse if he stays fit. Does that mean Ramazani don't get any minutes all season apart from odd rotating game? Because Ramazani's too good, or am I thinking too much into it, or is he solely out of it for injury reasons, lads, or because of Solomon's form?
I don't think it is, Matty. Like, because we've seen him play off the left, we've seen him play off the right, we've seen him had a little cameo through the middle as well. We obviously haven't seen him feature the last two games, but before he got injured, you can arguably say that he was the best player in that Leeds squad. He was really, really good before he got injured. And there's no way he's lost it just like that. If he's still working his way back through rustiness, 100% agree with that. We obviously know at Derby, first 20 minutes flying really, really good and dropped out of the game. But I don't think his performance at Derby was that bad. It's warranted him not to get any minutes in the next two games. He didn't cover himself in glory, but it wasn't detrimental. You know, it wasn't that bad where you're saying that he's not getting minutes, even 5-10 minutes in the last couple of games, especially how bad DJ has been on that right-hand side as well. So again, it's coming to the situation when Matty, not at the same scale, but it's very like the Smith one as well. It's like, what exactly has Ramazani done to not even be getting, 5-10 minute run-outs when you see another player on the pitch struggling? So, I don't really get that one either, Matty. But again, you just hope against the Harrogate that he does play, he does feature, he shows really, really good quality, hopefully gets 1 or 2 goals, either side, whether it's Fernando or Ramazani. You just hope that one of them can come on and show the quality and really take the game with a scruff of the neck and show Fark and push him for this position. Solomon at the minute for me, lads, has been absolutely outstanding, really, really outstanding. And this is the player that we've signed. We have to keep him fit, lads, because he has been really, really good. But it is in the case like that where DJ isn't on it. You need these players to be coming on fit and ready, and match minutes. And at the minute, they're just not that. They're not that, so they're not ready to come on to make an impact on the game because they're not being played. And the exact same thing with Isaac Smith. We can't just throw him on in the game like that today with backs against the wall because we were supposedly building his minutes, but he had no minutes built up. And the same thing with Ramazani now. So can you rely on players to come on and change a game when they haven't been playing any minutes? That's the issue for me.
Yeah, fair.
Chris Gillis said, sign a new keeper when we go up 110%. Stick with Mez playoffs, and we all know what happens next year. And any sort of pressure, any sort of big game or anything riding on it, Meslier never shows up for me, lads. He always crumbles under any sort of pressure. Darts versus Harrogate, he's still finding his way back from injury. Hope so, Richard. I really hope so, buddy. I hope he's just dusting that rust off him. Mr. Cox Staxon insulted donkeys. Very good, very good. Solomon has been good lately. Dan James has gone off the boil slightly, if anything. Yeah, and that's what we touched on. Solomon being outstanding. It's hard to criticise DJ lads, though, isn't it? Like, it always hurts when you turn around saying, and even we've been doing a little bit of match reviews. It's so hard to say that with DJ because I love him the bits. He's really turned my thinking around of him in the last 18 months. I just hope it is just like a little blip in the season and he does turn around and gets back on it. I reckon Fark has had a spat with Fark. I think maybe it should be Ramazani, is it?
Yeah, Ramazani.
Maybe Ramazani say Leeds in the playoffs, you get championship next season. Yeah, exactly. And then your prong sandwich in your stadium redevelopment is out the window. Still think he's feeling the injury. Yeah, he could be, Danny. He could be.
Right. Can't believe the
Sean, I think versus Harry could be Darlow Smith, Bogle, Gilavogi, the Boyo crew, Ampadu, Solomon out wide, Willie 10, and Joseph up top. Yeah, I still think that's a little bit too much, lads. We haven't got Burnley away isn't a difficult fixture, as you think. Do you not think so, Richard? We need to know why. I need to know, Richard. I need to know why, because I am quaking in my boots of that away game.
We might win the stats on that one, Darren, but we won't win the main stat potentially. You know what I mean? That's it.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking all ball, exactly like at Ellen Road, all ball, and being hit on the counter or a stupid penalty or a fumble from the keeper or a 1-0 loss. Anyway, we must remain positive and keep faith. I know it's difficult, but it can be done. Wayne, I love you. What a motivational speaker that is. Because I'm finding hard to get the positivity at the minute. Young Harry Gray, this is actually brilliant, lads. I don't know if you did see it. So Harry Gray is back. Must be coming back into form now, surely. Sooner he's 18, the better. Meant to be potentially better than Archie. Yeah, look, it's obviously a lot to hang your hat on.
He's a striker as well, isn't he, Harry?
Just think it, but it's a lot to hang your hat on, lads. But just great for him that he is back playing after the injury that he has.
I'll get him in. He'd probably do a better job than all of them. Put him in there.
We'll be confident that we can beat Sheffield Wednesday and Norwich at home. Yeah, look, we should be with the way the home record is at the minute. I just think after that game of Hull, there might just be a little bit of damage done in that dressing room. Shane Kavanagh says, can't see any new goalkeeper being brought in. I think so too, mate. He'll stick with Mez. We do need a proper number 9, though. What's your thoughts on that one, lads? The 9 position, I think Pirro's actually doing okay, lads. So just like what you say, mate, I'd like to just see Pirro start for an extended period of time. If he goes 2 games without scoring a goal, don't throw your toys out. Just stick with him 4 or 5 games. Give him a nice little run in the team. I still think the 10 is the position.
Yeah.
What a goal, though, he scored. Sorry, I have to put that out there. That was a great goal. It was unbelievable.
Really was. It's for me, if you take Bamford out of the equation and put him to the side just for forever rather than a second, I think between the two, we tend to play up front in terms of Joseph and Pirro. I think you've got all the ingredients there. It's just how you utilise them. It's like having all the ingredients sat there for a spag bol. You just don't know where to start. They get it right from the start, and it tends to get, combined over the course of a 90-minute game. If he gets the right one to start and the right one to come on, it works. The only problem with them is if you get an injury to one of them. But so far, touch wood, they're both really fit guys. Whether it's because he does a lot running or not, I don't know with Pirro, but they don't tend to get any knocks or injuries. They're never out for a game. They're always available. Best ability is availability, as I always say. It's there. Mm-hmm. So for me, I don't think. A 9 and a 10 were probably the ones people were looking at. Now I think it's a 10 and a goalkeeper. I'd rather get a goalkeeper in than a 9 if I had the chance. And I don't think they're going to go 9-10 keeper. I definitely think they're going to look at a 10. That would always going to be looked at. I think depending on if someone comes in for Bamford a 9, but I feel like now it's a goalkeeper that's probably now the most important potential player in January, which is mental.
I still definitely think it 10. 100% I think 10 is the most important one. But then if you were to turn around and say you either want a 9 or a goalkeeper, which one do you want? I'm saying a goalkeeper all day, because I think Pirro, for me, he's scoring goal, lads, and he is assisting. As much as he looks lazy and doesn't look like he goes out for long periods, he's still scoring goals for us, so you can't disagree with that one. When are you getting your ground extended? Not too sure, Macam Cabby, but hopefully when we get out of this godforsaken division and we get back to the Premier League. Scoring goal isn't a problem this season. I agree with you, Chris. It's the other end that need to be addressed. Yeah, I agree, lads, because it isn't a problem. It's what you touched on, mate. It's not like we're just winning games, 1-0 or, scraping through 2-1. We are scoring plenty of goals. It's good. It is. It's the other end, isn't it? That just seems to be a bit of an issue as of late.
Yeah, it's when we get these knocks and these, when we get longevity to players playing in certain positions, that's when we sort of build that momentum. We saw it last season. When you start to get every other week at minute, we've got a fullback out, or we've got we get his midfielders back, and then we lose a centre half. One of the midfielders has got to play a centre half. We tend to get a couple of games of some sort of momentum and rhythm, and then we get an injury, and sometimes he makes a wrong call with that, and he might have to change 2 or 3 positions rather than just putting an actual left back at left back. He changes stuff around and maybe overthinks it a little bit, but still, like I say, I won't bother with that lineup for all. I thought it was a decent lineup in hindsight. It's a good thing, like we said earlier, but yeah, I do think we tend to gloss over. We might have the best squad, we might have the biggest wage budget, we might be Leeds United, all this, all that, but we might gloss over the fact we've been riddled with injuries this season. Some long-term injuries and a lot of couple of gamers. Do you know what I mean? And that does hamper your momentum. Like, that is a momentum like fucker, really, isn't it? You know what I mean? You could be absolutely flying. 1 or 2 injuries to key personnel, and people will say it's an excuse. You should have cover, and yeah, you might have cover, but the cover's never as good as the original starter, is it? Because it's not far off in some instances in this side this season. Honestly, that bench isn't far off, but ultimately the bench plays at the minute are out of form, and the starters have been in form up until this last week, I say. But yeah, I do think that, mate.
Yeah, no, I agree with you here. I just have a comment start here from Noise, and I think makes a little bit of sense, and this is just a feeling. Now, look at whether the stats back it up, but no way Burnley and Blunt will draw that game away from home after being 3-1 up with 10 minutes to go. Yeah, I agree with that, Matty. Do you, buddy? You just know Parker and Wilder are seeing that game out 100%. That there's no way that they're dropping points there.
But you'd have backed us to do that, wouldn't you? With Farke, you'd have backed Farke to do that. That's what we do.
I think that's what's the most mind-boggling thing. Like, the Meslier situation all the way, just our general all-round play, how we actually played as a team when we were 3-1 up is probably the most concerning thing for me, Matty, because we completely went away from what we usually do under Fark, and that's being pragmatic, keeping the ball, not being stupid with it, not giving it away, very much possession first before we went with it, and we weren't. We just kept giving it back and giving it back to them, just invited them on when our backs were against the wall, which was crazy, absolutely crazy. And that comes down to both sides, that comes down to the players, but it also comes to Fark as well on the sideline to get that message across, his in-game management to turn around and tell the players, keep the ball, stop giving it away so cheaply, stop giving away free kicks. So yeah, look, it's one of them. Any thoughts on Fark saying Leeds still inexperienced young lads? It was the last what's that in translation? I was lost in translation, sorry, or just a bit Teddy gaff. Well, when you looked across the squad, lads, the team line up there, it wasn't that inexperienced. Well, like, when you look across, like, it isn't, lads. When you look at the likes of Joe Rodon, Ampadu, Max Roberts played at a decent level, Bogle, even Meslier. You look at Rotwell, he's definitely well experienced in the championship. Tanaki, you might say, but he's absolutely outstanding. You know, your Solomon experienced, Aronson definitely experienced, James, and your Pirro. It's definitely not an inexperienced team, lads.
Not at all. I mean, in terms of age,
is it just a cover? Is it just a cover for the players?
Yeah. In terms, he knows he's got a young group in terms of age, mate. You know, a lot of them are mid-20s, so you can they're on that borderline out the way you can use it to your advantage if you're struggling and say, are they a young group? But really, when you're mid-20s and you've played 4, 5, 6 years professional football, I mean, Dan James has been a scum, played in Premier League. A lot of these players play internationals, so it's just a wishy-washy comment for me. It's just trying to back the lads. He's trying to take the heat off them and come up with excuses. A lot of people see through it, don't they? He don't often say the right thing for me, you know, in his press conferences. Sometimes he does say some daft things, like Meslier being best goalkeeper last season. He says some absolute shockers, but I suppose it's coming from a good place. He's trying to protect his players. He's trying to take the pressure off them. But yeah, sometimes it's like you try to pull wool over Leeds fans' eyes, and you know, we're too smart for that, really. That's what
Michael is saying here. Fark only trying to take the heat off the players. Yeah, it has to be that.
I understand.
It has to be that. 100%. Couldn't believe that Fark came out with that line. Yeah, and he does come out with some crazy things. Even the previous game as well, when he was talked about going at 3 at the back, when he was asked in the press conference about Smith, why didn't Smith come on? Because obviously you naturally like them flying wing backs, and he was saying that I was thinking about already going to a back 3. For me, it was absolute nonsense. But I suppose, look, that's what you have to do for a manager, to try and obviously keep the confidence of the player up, but also not crucify them in the media. You're bang on, Matty. We've missed Firpo and Bogle more in a few games. Yeah, look, I agree, lads. We definitely have. Like, for the first while, I don't think we missed Firpo. I thought we were fine. Like, we had Byram in there giving 7, 8 out of 10 performances every single week. Obviously, Byram, we could see as it kind of went on, he was still doing a job for us, but you could see his performance level naturally dipping. Of course, it's going to be given his injury record and his injury CV. Verber then we thought was going to be okay going in there, but you can't see a decline a fullback. So now I'm kind of starting to miss Firpo, you especially, just them assists, them getting forward, giving us that little bit more from the wings. He has been a miss, lads, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Dillo sleep.
Sorry, I was just reading that. I was reading that comment there. Sorry. Yeah, definitely. Just going back though to what I lost the comment there now. Sorry, I was trail tracked.
Which one are you looking for?
What was the last comment you had up?
Was it Fark taking the heat off the players?
Yeah, sorry, that was Michael. Yeah, yeah, like he said it in the press conference a few times about the squad being so young. So you know, reading between the lines, is it a dig at the board to get players in? Is it that he doesn't solely rely on certain individuals? Schmidt being that one. So it's a bit of a head scratch, to be fair, but I don't know. That's what I think time for change going into this new year, because last season we fell short, and I can only see it kind of turning very drastically if certain players don't step up.
Yeah, no, I agree, which is 100%, buddy. Where we going? Because we didn't get a 10 in August, we automatically think that we're going to go get one. I don't think we look at one for me. I think we have to be, Danny. I think we have to. We have to be. Evening, Evie. Hope you're keeping well. Thanks for popping in. And Shane Kavanagh says, what do you think about this Smith lad? Not going. Yeah, it's a question that just keeps coming up, lads. I'm sure we've all been asked it on our streams a lot lately. It's just an absolute head scratch, lads. It's a situation that I just can't figure out in my mind, and the only conclusion that I come to when you lay everything out on the table and you have a look at it, there just has to be some sort of falling out, lads, doesn't it? There really does.
Has to be.
Give them a bit part minutes to try and build them up, then to not be getting any minutes at all. Even when you see when Bogle and Boyram go off injured, then you see Vauber and Ampadu going into right full. Smith has to be sitting on that bench going, I'm here. Like, you know what I mean? Here, like, here's your answer here. Here's your round peg and a round hole. Like, stick me on. That's my position. So to be even putting him on the bench and not giving him 5 or 10 minutes for me is just, it's a joke, because he's just taking up a space on the bench for someone that he's not going to bring on. So potentially look at someone else then that you do trust, even if it's someone in the 21s that you think might do half a job. And do it with him. Like Gelhardt, we haven't seen Gelhardt in the squad, for the last couple of weeks. Someone like him, if he doesn't trust someone,
I think Gelhardt would be very good, lads. That
someone
break my heart.
It just can use I don't think he's can, lads, but I can use make heads or tail the Smith situation, because it's an absolute head.
I'm convinced that there was a falling out there. Has to be.
Yeah, and even though if he has had a fallout with him, people might say, why is he on bench? We saw with Cresswell, he was still on bench a lot, but he was never going to come on. He's just occupying a seat there, a bum on seat that you could utilise someone else. But I've said it on my channel, if Schmidt doesn't play against Harrogate, if he doesn't start against Harrogate, I'm probably never going to talk about him again, because for me, he's not a Leeds United player at that point. Like, if he don't play against Harrogate, there's literally no point in ever talking about him, because he's not. He's just a name on a bit of paper, and he's not actually involved in any capacity. So that's the telltale sign. We'll know more next Saturday when that team sheet comes out for the Harrogate game. If
he doesn't start at Harrogate, or even gets
it's League Two standard, and not even being disrespectful to him. It's League Two standard. Like, even if he only gets through 60 minutes. Like, let him play 60 minutes against Harrogate. If he ain't good enough to start in Championship, that's one thing. But if you're telling me he can't line up against a League Two opposition when he was playing in Europe 3 months ago, you try to pull wool over my eyes with that one, Farker, as well. So I think he's got a personal issue with him, like he had with Charlie Cresswell. And what I would say on that is Charlie Cresswell's dad were very vocal. Maybe Schmidt hasn't got that. Maybe Schmidt's a bit more laid back, a little bit more not asked for.
A Jed Spence sort of vibe, like,
Maybe there's that going on, and Charlie Cresswell's dad came out and said something, and it sparked. Let us know, which as fans I'd rather know. But I don't think we're reading too much into it here. I do think there's got to be something else to it. I know people say he's building his minutes up and that, but that's stopped now, and all of a sudden he ain't even building his minutes up anymore. And when you're a fullback that can cover both sides, and you're seeing injuries at both sides, and you're still not playing, there's an issue. Don't care what anybody says.
Even if he's not, mate, this is one to put across. You're right. If Fark does have what you say, like a personal issue with Isaac Smith, surely for the good of the team and the good of Leeds United, and for him being manager of Leeds, that he parks that issue that he has with him personally for the good of a team, that someone in that position can play. So we do see him against Harrogate, and he does do well. And again, look, you have to remember that it is League Two standard. But surely they park the issues that they have with each other, if that is the case, and they try and move on for the good of Leeds United, because it's square pegs and round holes. And when you have the answer there on the bench, well, like, Fark has to be the bigger man there as the manager in that case. I'm sure any manager of any company or your manager that's over you should be big enough to come to you and go, look, yeah, we've had an issue, we park it, we move on together, and we move forward for the best of the company and the best of the team. That's what way we look at it, and that's what Daniel Farke needs to do. If there is a genuine issue there, well, don't name him on the bench. Come out and be man enough to say it, or either be man enough to shake hands and go, lads, let's move forward. You know, it has been an issue, but we move forward from it.
Yeah. And if he is shite, Darren, if he is shite, play him.
Yeah.
Let us see his shite, and then we'll shut up fucking talking about him.
And go down. So you know what? Yeah, I agree. Because we can't comment on his ability. We really can't. So when you have a wing back that's notoriously what Daniel Farke wants and he's not playing him, it just doesn't make sense to us as fans. So good one here from Martin Cook says, your feedback is massively appreciated. Love the way you retain your passion without turning it into whining whingers. Love that. And this is the team. We are the best Champo side. We're currently the best Champo players. Thanks very much for that kind comment.
I can whinge. Just ask my wife. I can whinge.
Oh, we can whinge. When we get going, we can whinge. Our starting 11 are older and more experienced than last year. And yeah, that's exactly it. We're definitely more experienced. So it was potentially, lads, it was protecting the players a little bit, wasn't it? 100% for me. And he says here, to touch on the previous Leeds game, how many of us had in our heart palpitations when Bamford was on the ball? If you go watch Matty's vlog against Blackburn, Matty was every Leeds United fan that day. Palpitations isn't the word. Palpitations. Put that fucking ball down. And Danny got me. We were doing a watch along, and we were a couple of seconds behind. And Danny came up in the chat, said, Bamford to take, or Bamford with his ball in his hands, and I was losing me shit on the watch along. And then I'd look and I seen him giving the ball to strike, but yeah, no, thank you, no, thank you.
Danny was on the wind up.
Fairport could be back for Harrogate, so I might not see him. Yeah, I don't think he'll play him against. I don't think he'll risk him against Harrogate, lads. Even if he is back. Evie says here, I'm truly confused by Smith. I think we all are. Evie just can't make any sense of it. We were crap in defence, so would have lost nothing by having him on. Exactly, 100%. And we're really poor with Volber there as well. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to any Leeds United fan what's going on at the minute. Look, lads, I think we'll leave it there. We're nearly on for an hour and a half. Anyone else to add before we wrap her up?
Nah, mate, covered a lot there. Good stream.
We did. Good hour stream. Yeah, look, lads, that's it from the final point. It's been a really, really good one. If you haven't done so already, please slap a like on the video, hit subscribe to the channel, and go across and check out Matty from Imagine Not Being Leeds as well, as he's very close to the 700 mark. Absolutely motoring along. So go across there, hit subscribe if you haven't already done so, and give him a dig out. That's it, lads. Dillo, you want to add, buddy, before we wrap her up?
No, that's it. Just hopefully now players get rested, regroup, and go again.
You'll get rested, Dylan. You'll get well soon, mate.
Yeah, man, I'm a bit. I'm a battler.
Yeah, it's bad when you're not drinking,
yeah, he did start drinking. He did nail hot whiskey in you. Lads, look at that's it from the final point. We will be back next week for your match build-up for the Harrogate game, as we expect a couple of changes for that one, and we speak about the goalkeeper situation again. So we'll chat you all again soon. Again, slap a like at the video and hit subscribe, and we'll chat you all again soon. Have a good evening.